We're here today with the fabulous, multi-award winning authoress, Harley Jane Kozak. Harley, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And the first question, our favorite question, what is your favorite line from any book, mystery or other?
Okay, I couldn't narrow it down to one, so I have three.
Okay.
And then I had to write them because you don't want to paraphrase the Pulitzer Prize winner. So the first one is Annie Proulx, The Shipping News, and it's the last line of the novel, and it goes like this. And it may be that love sometimes occurs without pain or misery. And it's a tough book in many ways, but the last line is such a great payoff. The second one is an even bigger payoff. It's also the last line, but it's not the whole sentence because you don't know where to stop and you don't know where to start because it's Ulysses, James Joyce. So it's the end of the novel. So I'll just give you the last couple phrases. And his heart was going like mad. And yes, I said, yes, I will, yes. And the final one, this is from Franny and Zooey, sometimes known as Franny and Zoe. And it's J.D. Salinger, obviously. I'll tell you a terrible secret. Are you listening to me? There isn't anyone out there who isn't Seymour's fat lady. It's about an actress, and it got me through the first 40 years of my professional life, which was acting. And so it's a kind of line that is meaningful to, of course, any reader, but particularly an actor.
So you're a literary gal.
So now you're going to ask me, so with literary taste like this, why am I writing crime fiction? Well, my first book started out as a piece of literary fiction, and then I found that I have a terrible habit of digressing when I write, much the way I speak. And so I discovered that a body that was in the middle of the road somewhere in chapter 3 became the most compelling thing to write about, and it also kept me on point and out of the character's head in the inner monologues, which were my sort of bad habit as a writer. And it became the most fun part of the book also to write. And so one day I realized, I was reading a Lawrence Block book on how to write. I think it was Spiders Spin Me a Web.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you read when nobody's watching and you're not trying to improve yourself? And I thought, well, crime fiction. So I thought maybe that's what I should be writing. Maybe that's what my book wants to be. And I was delighted to discover that, that is what the book wanted to be. So that became my first novel, Dating Dead Men.
What made you choose to want to start writing?
Well, writing was something that I always had as a kind of secondary passion, and I thought that I was writing in service to my acting. And I also thought that I would be acting until I was dead. And to my surprise, somewhere in my late 30s, as I was approaching 40, and I discovered that the roles were getting less interesting. Obviously, this doesn't happen to A-list actresses as much, but for the B+, B- list, which I was finding that the work was a lot less compelling, and I was taking a writing class at the same time, and some of my short stories and essays began to get published. I discovered that my writing was becoming more interesting in the part of the week that I looked forward to the most, and I started to resent my acting jobs because they would take me away from my writing class, and so I thought, maybe I'm having a midlife professional crisis.
Given that you're now here with Stark Raving, could you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing for us?
I think what I'm going to be doing, and since my deadline isn't for 11 months, don't take this to the bank, but I think what I'm doing is a spin-off of my first mystery series, and I think it's going to be called Gun Girl. And it's going to take a secondary character from my first mystery series. My heroine in my first series, the first book of which was Dating Dead Men, was a gifted amateur and really unsuited to solve crime or carry a series. But one of her best friends has a lot more detective-worthy skills, and so I think she's going to be
that's
the first.
Fabulous. We are going to definitely, we won't hold you to it, but that sounds great, and we're going to look forward to doing that. And I really want to thank you once again for being here with us, for being a part of this, and just exciting. Thank you so much.
I'm excited. Thank you.